Ever found yourself scrolling through social media when you should be working on that important project? You're not alone. The average person wastes 218 minutes every day procrastinating. That's over 3 hours. But here's the thing. Beating procrastination isn't about superhuman willpower or complicated systems. It's about understanding one simple truth that changes everything. Look, I've been there. That project deadline looming while you're reorganizing your sock drawer for the 3rd time this month. That feeling of dread as the hours tick by and you still haven't started. The guilt spiral that follows. We've all experienced it, and it's not because we're lazy or unmotivated. In fact, research shows that procrastination has almost nothing to do with laziness, and everything to do with how we manage our emotions and approach the first moments of any task. What if I told you that the solution isn't about forcing yourself to work harder or installing the latest productivity app? What if beating procrastination was actually much simpler than we've been led to believe? In this video, I'm breaking down the 3-step framework that neuroscientists and productivity experts are now confirming works for even the worst procrastinators. The 2-minute starting block that bypasses your brain's resistance. The environment. Reset that eliminates 90% of distractions before they happen. The momentum method that turns small wins into unstoppable progress. Remember that feeling when you finally start something you've been avoiding for weeks and you think, why didn't I just do this sooner? What if you could experience that relief every single day without the guilt trip beforehand? Imagine what your life would look like if procrastination no longer had power over you. How much more could you accomplish? How much less stress would you feel? By the end of this video, you'll have a ridiculously simple system that works with your brain instead of against it. No complicated apps, no shame spirals, just practical steps you can implement immediately after watching. Ready to make procrastination a thing of the past? Let's dive in. Step 1. The 2-minute starting block. The first step is what I call the 2-minute starting block. Here's the truth. Your brain isn't actually resisting the whole task. It's resisting starting the task. Science shows that once you begin something, the psychological barrier dissolves almost instantly. Let me explain why this works on a neurological level. When you think about a big task, your amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for the fight or flight response, activates. It perceives the discomfort of the task as a threat. But this response is strongest before you start. Once you're engaged in the activity, a different part of your brain takes over, the prefrontal cortex, which handles focus and concentration. So here's what you do. Commit to just 2 minutes. That's it. Don't think about finishing the project, writing the whole paper, or cleaning the entire house. Just commit to 2 minutes of work. Say to yourself, I'll just work on this for 2 minutes, then I can stop if I want to. Let me share a personal example. Last month, I had to prepare a presentation that I'd been putting off for weeks. The thought of creating 30 slides was overwhelming. So I told myself, just work on the title slide for 2 minutes. That's all I committed to. But once I started, I found myself naturally continuing. Within an hour, I had completed 10 slides without even realizing it. What happens next is almost magical. In about 80% of cases, you'll continue working well past those 2 minutes because starting was the only real obstacle. Your brain transitions from avoidance to engagement, and suddenly the task doesn't seem so overwhelming. Step 2. The environment reset. The second step is the environment reset. Procrastination feeds on distractions, and your environment is likely full of them. Research from the University of California found that it takes an average of 23 minutes to fully regain your focus after being distracted. That's a huge productivity killer. Before you even begin your 2-minute starting block, take 30 seconds to put your phone in another room or on Do Not Disturb. Close all browser tabs except the ones you need. Clear your immediate workspace of anything unrelated to your task. Turn off notifications on your computer. Let others know you need uninterrupted time, if possible. This isn't about perfect organization. It's about removing the easy escape routes your brain will look for. When the path of least resistance is actually doing your work, procrastination loses its power. I've found it helpful to create what I call a procrastination-proof zone. This is a specific place where you only do focused work. It could be a particular desk, a corner of your home, or even a specific coffee shop. Your brain begins to associate this environment with productivity, making it easier to get started each time. The final step is the momentum method. Once you've started working, don't break the chain. Use visible progress trackers, even something as simple as crossing items off a list, to create a visual representation of your momentum. Each small win triggers dopamine in your brain, creating a positive feedback loop that makes continuing easier than stopping. This is why breaking tasks into smaller chunks works so well. It's not about making the work easier. It's about creating more opportunities for your brain to experience success. Here's how to implement this effectively. Break your project into the smallest possible subtasks. Create a physical or digital list where you can check off each item. Celebrate each completion, no matter how small. Track your progress visually. I use a simple calendar where I mark an X for each day I work on my important tasks. The science behind this is fascinating. When you complete a task, your brain releases dopamine, the same neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. By creating more completion points, you're essentially hacking your brain's reward system to make work more satisfying. Common obstacles and solutions. Now you might be thinking, this sounds great, but what about when I really don't feel like starting even for 2 minutes? That's a valid concern, so let me address some common obstacles. Obstacle 1. I don't have the energy. Solution. Lower the bar even further. Make it a 30-second starting block instead of 2 minutes. Just open the document or put on your workout clothes. The key is to make the first step so ridiculously easy that it requires almost no energy. Obstacle 2. I keep getting distracted even after I start. Solution. Use the Pomodoro technique alongside these methods. Work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. The time constraint creates urgency that helps maintain focus. Obstacle 3. I have too many tasks and don't know where to start. Solution. Apply the 2-minute rule to deciding. Give yourself just 2 minutes to choose the most important task, then immediately use the 2-minute starting block on that task. Real-world application. Let me show you how this framework applies to different scenarios. For work projects, break the project into tiny subtasks. Start with just 2 minutes of the first subtask. Clear your desk of everything except what's needed for that specific subtask. For exercise, commit to just putting on your workout clothes and doing 2 minutes of stretching. Create an environment by laying out your gear the night before. For creative work, start with just 2 minutes of brainstorming or outlining. Clear your workspace and turn on music that helps you focus. So there you have it. Beating procrastination isn't about forcing yourself to work for hours on end or completely transforming your personality. It's about understanding that the hardest part is simply starting, and then creating the conditions that make starting as easy as possible. By using the 2-minute starting block, resetting your environment, and building momentum through small wins, you can bypass your brain's natural resistance and tap into its natural desire for completion and progress. Try this system today. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Today. Because the simplest solution to procrastination is often the most effective. Just start. For 2 minutes. That's it. If this approach helped you, hit that like button and subscribe for more simple solutions to everyday challenges. And let me know in the comments which of these 3 steps you think will help you the most. Until next time, remember, starting is success.